Oh, hi, it's me, Cullen. If you may have noticed, I got a new webcam, which means I'll actually be able to start making almost good YouTube videos. Shit, this is getting tangled. Honestly, I don't know how I didn't see that coming.
Cullen.
Today we're going to be looking at this channel I've heard about called Girl Defined. Basically, it's like these two little Christian girls. They like preach or something on YouTube. I don't know. Their channel description is just two sisters striving to be God-defined girls in a culture-defined world. Because, you better watch out for that culture. Oh, geez. Oh, boy. This is a prime example of culture. Anyway, let's click on this channel and see what the hell they have to say. Immediately upon clicking, it's the trailer's love-defined book trailer. Apparently they wrote a book. In a culture obsessed with love and romance, why is it so hard for us to find satisfying love that lasts? Well, it's probably because most of us guys can't find the G-spot. Alright, so already looking at their videos, there is a lot of stuff that I really want to just delve into. But we're gonna just go one at a time. How about we start with how I found a modest wedding dress? Because, all wedding dresses I've seen are just super slutty and just show everything. Gotta have one at least down to the ankles.
Hey guys, it's Kristen and Bethany.
Okay, first off, their names are Kristen and Bethany, which are like the most Christian girl names I've ever heard. Also, their voices are kind of annoying.
And today I am going to be talking about, well, along with you.
Well, along with you, because there's two of us. Get it? There's two of us, so I'm talking about it with you. I'm hilarious.
How I found a modest wedding dress. For those of you who don't know, I got married almost exactly 3 months ago. We just celebrated our 3-month anniversary.
It went so fast.
I feel like she's going to be bringing up the point that she got married 3 months ago several times throughout this video and others. That's just my prediction.
I feel like you just got married.
I know, and it feels like I'm I was single forever, so then it's like, wait, I'm married, you know?
I'm married.
I'm married!
This is what happens whenever you don't touch anybody until you're married. She's like way too excited about the whole getting married thing. I feel like she's trying to compensate for the fact that the sex isn't really great. She seems like she's faking it, which she probably is in many other scenarios as well.
But it was such a wonderful day, and each anniversary you kind of look back and reflect on the day. And
It's been 3 months, woman. You haven't had an anniversary yet.
And something that I've been thinking about and have been wanting to talk about is the whole process of finding a modest wedding dress. Because finding a dress, first of all, is complicated enough. And I know
so
you're going to
hard.
share about your journey, unfortunately.
Oh, the hell was that?
Your journey, unfortunately.
Oh God, what the hell is that? Oh, I hate that noise.
Hers was a lot harder than mine, just finding a dress that you
Yes.
loved. Mine was a little bit easier, but it's just that whole idea of like, as a Christian woman, you're getting married.
So you're getting what?
Getting married.
What was that?
Getting married.
Uh-huh. I don't really know what murd is.
Or when you get to that point, you're getting married and you're saying, okay, I don't just want to wear anything.
Just go naked.
I want to strive to glorify God in every aspect of my wedding, including what I'm wearing.
Oh my God. Or your God in this case. The thing with all of this like super Christian stuff is like, God, every aspect of your life is dedicated to this guy who might not even exist. Or at least not in the sense you think. Dedicating every aspect of it. You could be taking a shit and being like, this shit's gonna glorify God. Calm down. Take it easy. I'm sure he doesn't care enough to want every aspect of your life to glorify me. I'm sure he's like, all right, that's enough glory there, okay? No, you don't need to wear your socks in a way that glorifies me. I've got enough of it.
And so I know for me, going out and searching for a dress and trying to find one with that in mind really kind of changes the wedding shopping dress game.
Yeah, it changes it. It makes it a hell of a lot more stressful and annoying.
Because you're thinking of it and you're viewing what you're doing and what you're looking for a little bit differently because you're thinking, okay, how can I glorify God in this specific aspect?
Taking a piss on a dead animal. How can I glorify God more in this aspect?
And so I'm going to share a little bit more of how I found my dress, where I found it, what that process looked like, so you can have the nitty-gritty details.
The nitty-gritty details of how to find a modest wedding dress. Because, that's very nitty and gritty right there.
But we just kind of want to talk about this because you don't hear a lot about this topic.
Because nobody cares enough to talk about it. Nobody's insane like you people.
The wedding day, you kind of get all caught up in just the event of it and all of the dazzle and glam and
Get that woman on Broadway.
the romance,
Which is so fun.
which is so fun. There was a lot of romance. But what about the nitty-gritty details?
You're gonna tell us how the wedding night went? Yeah.
What about the fact that we are a Christian woman, a Christian couple striving to glorify God through every single detail?
Yeah, okay, never mind. Those details weren't incredibly nitty or gritty, actually.
This was very important to Dave and I.
Of course his name is Dave. It's always Dave. I feel like every Christian guy is named Dave or John or something.
As we were talking through the details of our wedding, we didn't want to just go into the cookie cutter mold of the culture and say, okay, everyone does this, so I guess we'll do it.
Hold on. You said everyone else in secular culture is cookie cutter and does the same thing as everyone else. But isn't everybody doing the same thing as everyone else? Kind of the whole thing about a religion? Isn't that kind of what a religion is based off of? Everyone doing the same thing the same way for the same purpose? But no, we're the cookie cutter ones. Okay, all right.
We wanted to slow down and say, okay, what about this? What about this aspect? What can we change? How can we reflect Christ? How can we really incorporate that into our day and make that more of a central focus?
Trying to glorify God with every single thing you do has got to be stressful as shit. I can barely normally take a shit without getting stressed out. Imagine if I had to do that to glorify God. All right.
I remember those days so clearly. And I say
remember your
days
day.
because it was a long journey.
Like I had to skip
I'm
it. I was
searching-
like,
Okay, their audio guy needs to get fired. Good Lord. It's just clips and like crackles all over the place. I mean, sure, I'm not really one to talk, but I also don't have, 143,000 subscribers and probably an extensive budget from their church donations behind me.
I can't stay with you.
I know.
This is so long.
It was so hard. And
7 years ago.
It was over
Almost
7 years
8,
ago.
yeah.
We're coming on 8 years this year, which is so cool. I
3
love
months,
it.
8 years.
Yeah.
Again, I am assuming that's going to come up again in conversation several times throughout these next few videos.
A little bit of a space in
Hey,
between.
it's so cool. I love how God has a different story for each of us.
I love how God has a different story for each of us. Or maybe you just got married first because you found somebody first. I don't know. 7 years ago, how old were you? 12?
But I just remember going back to that wedding dress shopping. And, I had been thinking a little bit about the style and what I wanted and the fit, but until you get out there and try them on,
Yes,
you
you
don't
don't
really
know.
know.
Well, yeah, you don't really know if you want it until you try it on. That's kind of the whole thing about clothes.
So I ended up trying on tons of dresses that I never would have even
Yeah.
considered. Like the cut, the style, it's like, oh, you want slim, you want A-line, you want real poofy
Mermaid.
ball gown,
Yeah.
mermaid. Like
Yeah, I don't know, honey. A lot of those styles may be a little bit too promiscuous for a Christian wedding here.
so many styles. And on top of it, striving to find a dress that had a little more coverage, striving to be modest on my wedding day.
A little more coverage. A little more modest on my wedding day. Oh, shut the fuck up. You are not modest that night, I can tell you that. Oh, do Christians do that? Do they fuck on their wedding night? Is that kind of the whole point of a wedding for Christians? So they can have sex?
Which I wanted to. I was excited about that, but it just adds another element. It makes it a little more complicated.
Yeah, it makes it a little more complicated. So maybe don't do it.
And the crazy thing is that wedding dresses have come a long way.
Oh my
So
goodness.
back when I was shopping for dresses, and any of you who are married and got married over 7 years ago, you're going to totally
Yes,
relate to
yes.
this.
Oh, yeah, of course. All of you out there who have been married 7 years ago, that's a large crowd. I'm sure a lot of you have done that. What's their audience? That's what I want to know. Yeah, the video looks like it's directed towards, younger Christian girls and stuff like that. But then if your main audience is younger Christian girls, then why are you asking people who were married 7 years ago if they're going to relate, what their moms are watching with them?
Because you remember the dresses, it was like one cookie cutter style of dress.
So, I want to just count out all the times that they say cookie cutter.
cookie cutter.
And that's pretty much what every single
Yes.
store had.
Different cuts,
different
all
cuts,
the
but
same.
the top
Yeah.
structure of the dress was very, very similar.
Yeah.
And so as you went into each store, you were like, okay, I feel like I'm seeing the same thing over and over with just a little more poof, a little less
I
poof.
remember that.
Like, where's the
I'm not
diversity?
friendly.
Where is
I have a solution to all of your issues. Maybe quit focusing on the modest aspect, because I'm pretty sure most wedding dresses, at least the ones I've seen, cover what needs to be covered. I haven't seen any wedding dresses where their tits hanging out or something like that. Oh, you might show some shoulder, and I know that's a little much for you, but that'll really help kind of solve all the issues here.
I just remember I tried on so many dresses and I didn't like the way anything
None of them
looked.
were like the dress.
It didn't feel like me.
No.
I didn't feel like Zach would have loved any of it.
Maybe Zach isn't gonna like him because he can't see anything other than your ankles. The thing about straight guys, which is what I'm assuming you've married. They kind of like seeing women's bodies. It's kind of the whole thing, kind of like scientifically in their heads. Yeah, maybe that's why he didn't like any of your dress choices.
And so I just remember crying, like, because
that's what it normally sounds like when somebody cries.
I'm
It was
never
painful.
gonna find something. And I know some of you can relate to that feeling.
No, I don't really relate to that feeling at all. I mean, the point here isn't for me to be relating to the video. It's for me to be tearing it apart, which I think I'm doing pretty okay.
Because it can be hard. But thankfully, by the end, I don't know
Jesus, their audio guy. Oh my God.
when. It was at some
It was the
point.
last shop before you were about to lose it.
I did like a quick search on my phone, and then a random shop came up. I didn't even know it
a
existed.
small shop.
Like really tiny. I'm like, it's probably out of business. Like I've never heard of this. Go.
It's probably a business, so, that's why it's on Google, because if it's out of business, it's definitely going to show up on Google as in business.
And then lo and behold, you had just left because you're
I
like,
wasn't
I've got to
there
get back
for
to
it.
work. It was the second dress I tried on in that shop, and it was the dress.
Yeah.
It was totally me.
And everyone
All this trouble, and that's what you go for? It's not even any different than anything else. It looks just like every other wedding dress I've ever seen, except without any lace. It's not even more modest.
can see it hopefully right now. They can see
check
the
it
dress.
out. That was my wedding dress, but
Again, it looks just like it.
I loved it and I still love it. And so it's just so cool to see. But yes, we all know that this journey of shopping and buying a wedding dress in general can be so hard.
How many so's? So hard.
If you're currently engaged and shopping for a wedding dress, or if you're thinking, yeah, someday I'd like to get married and you want to wear a wedding dress, then something to consider, like Bethany said earlier, as Christian women, thinking through every detail of the wedding ceremony is so important.
I can understand that, as a religion, they want the wedding's really important. I can understand that. But the whole, gotta get it modest and everything, gotta get it completely different than anything else, I don't get it, because most wedding dresses I've seen are pretty modest.
Because as Christians, this is a beautiful and magnificent display of something so much bigger, of Christ and the church and the gospel. And as Christians, we want to be glorifying God in every aspect
And
of
just
our
the
lives.
covenant. It's a covenant that you're entering into. It's serious. It's
Right.
a big
It's
deal.
a covenant, lifelong relationship that God has set up.
Ever heard of divorce? That's in the Bible.
It's so beautiful, so wonderful, but there's a bigger picture happening. And for us, I know for me at the time, it's so hard to stay focused on that bigger picture. You're weary, you're tired, you're spending so much money.
Weary.
You don't know where the money is going to come from. You're stressed. It's like, like,
Can we play that again?
like, I had a lot of tears in the process. I think I could have managed myself a little better. Looking back,
Every time they laugh is, ha ha,
back,
ha ha.
but it can be so hard. And so for me, the thing that saved me was just constantly remembering,
Yeah.
like, why am I getting married?
Sex.
What's the purpose of marriage?
Also sex.
What's the purpose of this wedding day? And stepping back and remembering that bigger picture of striving to glorify God, even in the wedding dress process and the dress that I pick ultimately.
I don't think God fucking cares about your wedding dress. I think he just kind of wants you to sing songs to him every once in a while. Because he's got a couple billion weddings he's got to look after.
That made such a difference. So as you're thinking through now or in the future, your wedding day, remember that there's so much more going on and that our goal as Christian women, first and foremost in the whole process, should be to glorify God, even down to the beautiful dress that we choose to wear on our wedding day. And I love what Albert Mohler says.
Albert Moore, what? I didn't know he was going to be in this video. No way. Let's listen.
It's a little theological, but it really hits the nail on the head. He says, what we're aiming for in the worship service of a wedding is to demonstrate the glory of God in the coming together of a man and a woman in purity, in monogamy, and in faithfulness before him, to be obedient to his commandments and to receive all the good gifts and the gifts that are involved in the covenant marriage.
Amen. Amen, man. Amen. Freaking Albert Moore. This always gets me. It always gets right to the point. Who the fuck is Albert Moore?
And I love that reminder that it's a covenant, it's beautiful, but there's something so much bigger happening, something so much bigger that even the wedding ceremony represents. And then just that faithful reminder from 1 Corinthians 10:31, which reminds us all, and I need this every day, so whether you eat, whether you drink, whatever you do, get married and wear a dress, do all to the glory of God.
Okay, can we just be done with this video? The rest of it's just gonna be glorify God, something more, something bigger, bigger picture. Albert Moore. Yeah, that was basically the rest of the video. So we're gonna go to a different video now.